Good morning. It's Pastor Mark McDonald with First United Methodist Church on Main Street in Batesville. I'm delighted to be with you on a Saturday morning. On Saturday morning, many of us are doing different things. It's traditionally the Sabbath, but many of us keep a Sabbath on Sundays. It is a day that in our church we're serving the community breakfast. Right now, at this time that this video is premiering, that we have people that have been up for hours preparing breakfast to give away 80, maybe 100 meals in our community through to-go boxes. But some of us are resting and taking it easy. Some of us are working at our jobs. We come in all different places, but I appreciate that you are pausing with us, whatever time, whatever place, whatever situation you have, to remind yourself that we're here to love God and love others and serve the world. I want to share a little bit about tomorrow's sermon because some of my sermons, I spend a lot of time understanding the historical context, the culture, the setting, the language, so that I can understand if it's applicable or how it's applicable for us today. And other times, something just speaks deeply to me. And there is a passage that began my work on this that spoke deeply to me. And you've heard me preach it actually at Batesville before, but it is the last verse. It's in Matthew chapter 6. Remember, we're in Jesus's sermon in the Beatitudes. So Jesus himself is preaching. You've probably heard dozens, maybe hundreds or thousands of preachers preach, and they're always good things. This is Jesus's sermon. I mean, how much better can it get? Not any better. In Matthew chapter 6, beginning with the 19th verse, we'll start tomorrow. But in the 24th verse, I want you to hear this phrase. Jesus says, "You cannot serve God and wealth." Now, that struck me at first. I've heard it all my life, it seems like. And you cannot serve God and money. You cannot serve God and mammon, different interpretations. You can get into the study of that. But it struck me how Jesus is saying, if you're going to make a choice between door number one and door number two, you can't choose both. You've got to make a choice. And that struck me because today it seems like everything in our society is saying it's either my way or the wrong way. You know, it's either right or left. It's Republican or Democrat. It's conservative or liberal or progressive or whatever you want to call it. And I know that Jesus doesn't believe there are only two choices, but in this passage, he says you can't do two things at once. My goodness, we're good at multitasking today. So there were so many levels that when I read this the first time several weeks ago, that you cannot serve God and wealth really struck me in my heart. We've got to make choices. But the context of this passage is what we'll talk about tomorrow, and that is that he is telling us, be careful not to make your priority stuff. You can't serve God and stuff. You've got to serve God. Now, when you serve God, when you put God first in your life, you serve others, you love others, and that's what we'll talk about tomorrow. Just know that as we prepare ourselves, that we are not called to multitask our faith. We're certainly not called to buffet our faith, to pick and choose what we like, but to make the choice to follow God. And when we do that, we honor and respect others in a most powerful way. We're going to go deeper in this tomorrow, so today I just want you to carry it around with you. Choose God. Don't make the wrong choice. There are far more than two choices in this world today, in spite of what the rhetoric is. But ultimately, Jesus would remind us there is only one choice that matters. And it's not which party you align with. It's not whether you go in or stay out, whether you wear a mask or not. It is if you choose God. I hope you have a blessed day today. And remember, hashtag be a blessing.